We have access to NBN here, but we don't where I live. And I'm only not far out of the town, but we fall out of the footprint currently. From our council point of view, it's absolutely imperative. We live in a digital world. IT is everything. It's not a case of being frightened, it's a case of embracing it and taking every opportunity as it comes. And from a council perspective, we endeavour to use best practice with this at all times. It helps us with our decision making within council, and particularly with our staff, who are always the ones looking to improve what we do. Absolutely imperative on all levels. From a social point of view, it is important that people communicate, families and also friends, but from a commercial business point of view, as instant as possible for information, and the relevant information is absolutely essential for sound management. They are expensive. We would obviously like them to be cheaper, and the more affordable and widespread they are, the better it is for our communities. Life would be worse. We are moving ahead. IT technology, digital technology is the way forward. It is a sensible, logical step for us to take, and we need to embrace it at every step and use it to its fullest.
Establishment.
Yes, we have.
We do?
Yes. I don't think it's made any difference whatsoever. It's just, the same. We haven't, no. Not so confident for me, no, not personally. We have volunteers that help us out with that now and then, but we get by.
We do. Well, it's certainly helped in the amount of bandwidth that we've got available to the site. And for most cases, teachers are now able to stream videos, as long as we don't have too many trying to do it at the same time. Probably the biggest issue is that it's intermittent, and that sometimes it's really good, and other times it can be quite slow. And that seems to be affected by weather and other things we're not quite sure. And that makes it difficult for teachers because they're unable to plan really effectively. They're never quite sure if it's going to be working. Certainly better than it was, but it's still an issue. Yes. Those are those issues around reliability and the intermittent nation. And part of that is really down to the copper cabling that comes in. So the biggest issue is widespread access. It would also be true of our rural students that often, although they could afford the internet, they just don't have access to it. There is no signal. It's enormously important. It's one of the things that brings population to rural towns if there's adequate internet connection. It's also hugely important for our students because many of them are learning online. So primarily through laptops and obviously through things like interactive whiteboards and so forth. So we don't have a problem in terms of the devices to access, we just have problems in terms of the ability to access.